And good morning, welcome to Peggle Through the News. I'm Panda, here to bring you a weekly gaming news and a little bit of Peggle. You can use the chat points to decide which way to drop the ball between the news stories. And yeah, so I'm Panda, here at twitch.tv/Arctic Panda Popz. We do live streams, YouTube videos, and other content, but today is our weekly gaming news show that we've just started last week. So we're still in the hang of this. Had to do it. Hopefully maybe turn it into an audio version as well, maybe for Patreons. I need to look into that, see how that would work. But yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this week and then I'll move on to news. I've been carrying on with Warhammer 40k Inquisition. I can't pronounce it. Man, such a tongue. Martyr. Inquisitor Martyr. Sort of like a Diablo-esque, but set in the Warhammer 40k universe. We've got any audio here. There we go. Yeah, I've been enjoying that. It's a little bit rough around the edges. I've just got to a part where you've unlocked the PvP mode, and I was thinking to myself, I bet no one's playing it because there's no one playing the co-op mode in the story. I think yesterday was the first time I saw someone actually host a room, and there's just one person in it. So, but you can easily go through it solo. I haven't found it too bad actually, solo. But I imagine it's good fun in co-op as well. Been doing a bit of Fall Guys. They've got an event on at the moment. Assassin's Creed theme event. I did some of that this morning. That's quite good. Kind of like a cops and robbers mode, but one plays guardians and thieves. Thieves team's got to steal some candy, but you can get locked in jail if a guardian captures you. But if one of the thieves manages to press the unlock button, it unlocks the jail and you can all come back out. What else have I been checking out? Did go back to Story of Seasons on the Switch a little bit more. Discovered the item I need to build a certain building requires a lot of grinding, and I was like, okay, this might be the slight hurdle I have to get past in this game. And I think that's about it for the games I'm checking out. Been carrying on doing Tales of Tribute, which is the card game in the Elder Scrolls Online, and their new expansion. And yeah, that wraps up about my week in gaming. This week we live stream Fall Guys, Pokemon Unite, and Kirby 64. All those videos should be up on YouTube by the end of the week, but they're in the past broadcast section. And now let's move on to the gaming news. Here we go. Before we start a new story, I hate to start with a sad thing, but unfortunately, actor James Caan, mainly famous known for Godfather, but a bunch of other movies. My favorite movies include like Alien Nation, Elf. So unfortunately, he's passed away. Now you're thinking, how is that gaming related? Well, it is gaming related because James Caan actually reprised his role as, I think it was Sonny, wasn't he, in Godfather? He reprised his role from his character from Godfather, but the Godfather game that came out in 2006, if I remember right. And quite a few interviews said he actually enjoyed replaying that character and doing the voices for the game. So he had this more new dialogue. It wasn't just like, we've ripped the dialogue from a movie. So that was pretty cool how he came back to do that character again. And you know what? I really enjoyed that Godfather game. I played the Wii edition. I think the Wii remote stuff worked well. I don't know how well it's aged. It might be a game we'll revisit down the line, but it's unfortunate to hear that he's passed away, but he did have a fantastic career. And now let's move on to our next news story. Let's do a drop before we move on. And if you listen to the audio version, I'm about to drop the ball, but I'm going to go straight down the middle because there's a green. Okay, we've got an orange. I like to describe what's happening in Peggle, just in case you listen to the audio version. We've got a couple of oranges. Oh, we hit the pink boost, but still quite a bit to go. Back over to the news. Okay, our first news story. I like to say where I got my news stories from. I think it's only respectful. So, first news story comes from Kotaku. Lollipop Chainsaw is getting a remake next year. Now, unfortunately, I missed out on Lollipop Chainsaw. I think it's a Suda 51 game, if I remember right. It looks bizarre. You play as a cheerleader who has a chainsaw who goes after zombies. I think her boyfriend is now just a head who's attached to the chainsaw, but somehow still alive. I don't know if his spirit has gone into like just his head. I don't know. It looks very bizarre and funny. So it's kind of interesting to see this get a remake because I'm not quite sure how well it did at the time. I wonder if it's just because it's become more of a cult classic. So that is interesting. I haven't got much more else to say about that. It was a game I wanted to play at the time. but I missed out on it. Might still be on my wish list. I'll have to check. But if there's going to be a remake, I kind of feel like maybe not playing the old one, and I'll just wait till the remake. And it's pretty near. It's coming out next year. So that was interesting. It's interesting what games going to get remakes. Now, I'm hoping this is like full, proper quality remake. Like, oh, we've redone everything. Because there's been a few remakes or remasters, and they feel really lazy. Like, they just went, oh, we've just sort of improved the textures a little bit and just re-released it. And it's really weird because you get like some games are like, whoa, like Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, whole new like look. It looks amazing. And then you get other games. I'm trying to think of an example now where it just looks like the textures are the same, if not a bit quality. Like some of the Star Wars ones they've re-released, not bothered to like redo the graphics or anything. It's just literally like, the textures look a little bit better. It's a little bit sharper. And that's kind of disappointing because that Crash Bandicoot Trilogy is a good example of how you do a good remake / remastered. Yeah, let's drop the ball. That was a bit of a short story, but some of these stories are longer than others. I'm going to head to the right and go for the green. If I can, I might have to bounce it. So I'm using your special skill if you're listening in. Let's go for an orange one at the top and bounce it across and then see. Gets the green. Right, we've got 2 orange. Oh, again, we've got a few oranges here. Bouncing on some blues. Oh, we got the bucket. We didn't get a free ball. Didn't get quite enough points there. Let's hydrate here. Next on a news story. This one makes me sad. Diablo Immortal is making $1 million a day. And you're probably thinking, why is that making me sad? That's because lots of people complained about the game. And to be honest, it's got some awful microtransactions in there. You have to spend a fortune to get some of the rare gems. And because this is what makes me sad, because it's making so much money a day. This is bad news for like getting proper Diablo games in the future, because they feel like, well, if we can make more money off this microtransaction filled mess. I know they're making Diablo 4, but I feel like in the future they'll be like, we'll make more money of this, and it's going to take away from what makes Diablo special. I'm already concerned about number 4 going off in some weird direction that might not suit the series. It's gone for like a weird, maybe a little bit more darker tone, but the color palette looks really like, in that one trailer, the color palette looked really boring. At least like number 3's got like some nice bright colors. Number 4 looks like it's gone back to the 360 era of like, let's make everything a different color of brown or grey. And it just looks really dull. So fingers crossed that they add some color, but I'm disappointed to hear Diablo Immortal's doing as well. Considering there's such backlash, people clearly don't mind spending money on it. So, there's a place and a certain type of game. I had a discussion with the team earlier in the week. There's a certain type of game and place that microtransactions feel alright. Maybe like a free-to-play game and it's just cosmetics, but not too much. But Diablo's all about like collecting loot with the armor. So if you're just straight up paying for it, it just feels, ooh. Because it's doing so well, they're not going to go back on it. It's like when they added the auction house to Diablo, because so many people complained. They eventually did roll that out of the game, so the auction house isn't in Diablo 3 anymore. But it looks like this is going to be sticking around, so that is a bit disappointing. Yeah, I really enjoyed Diablo 3. Diablo 4, I'm concerned about. Diablo Immortal is... I can't believe it's doing this well. Very frustrating. But that's about it. So let's move on to Peggle drop here. Not as much happened in the news this week, but I think because last week we were treated to the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. I'm going to go on the green on the right. We've got the greens. We've got Super Guide for another 4 turns. Got 1 orange. Well, that was not the best drop. Next up on news stories is Pokemon. Nope. Oh, let's rewind. It's not Pokemon yet. Next news story. Now we've got more to talk about here. Now, I finally sat down last night to watch this Ubisoft presentation on Skull and Bones. Now, I must note, Ubisoft is bad, and they still need to sort out their nonsense. They need to sort out the workplace. A bunch of people probably need to get fired for the thing. So Ubisoft, unfortunately, still has and hasn't dealt with its sexual abuse cases and there's some quite severe ones. I'm not going to go into it all because it's pretty horrible stuff, but let's say it's bad. So Ubisoft needs to sort that out. How Yves, what's his name? The head of Ubisoft, how he hasn't quit or been fired yet is beyond me, because him to be so oblivious to what's happening in his company is shocking. Him and Bobby Kotick of Activision need to get the old boot and get out of here. But let's move on to some other stuff. So I bet there is still some good people at Ubisoft. Just unfortunately it's filled with toxicity, so I feel sorry for those. And there are plenty of petitions going around to get some more justice at Ubisoft, so check those out as well. But the little news story I want to give you here, as we finally have some footage and information about Skull and Bones, and it turns out Skull and Bones got announced back in 2017. We're talking 5 years ago. To be honest, I've written this one off. After a couple of years, I'm like, nah, they've not even mentioned anything about this game. This game has had its toast. I thought this is another victim of trying to be developed and then change their mind on what they're doing. Now, at the announcement, they did say like, oh, we've taken a different direction. So it does imply that at some point, Skull and Bones was different to what we saw yesterday. But yesterday, we had a cool cinematic trailer. Maybe they said the word piracy too much that made you think about game piracy instead of actual pirates. But I just thought it was funny. Gameplay-wise, now, there's a bit more to this now. It didn't really show off too much of the walking around stuff. There was like, here's a little town by the sea and you can like go and buy crafting stuff in there. Now, do you actually go out and explore these islands as much? I don't know. I think it's just going to be the towns. Where it is at is the ship combat. Now, there was some harvesting as well. Like, your boat would go up to an island, and you could harvest a tree, but it just did like this really weird animation, like cutting the tree while you were still on the boat. It was quite bizarre. Ship combat looks really good. Added stuff where you can like stick armor on your boats, your type of boats. You start off like with small boats. You got to collect different resources. You can upgrade your boat. Now, it did keep going about a fleet. Now, if you can get yourself an AI fleet, or the fleet has to be your friends, I'm not sure. They weren't clear. They're like, build up your fleet. And they're like, you can play this solo, but we recommend playing. That was the other thing that annoyed me. The game looked really good, but the amount of times it said, you can play this solo, or it's much better, or it plays better, or you should play it with friends, was kind of annoying. Like, so can you play it solo? Answer is yes, but the way they worded it several times, like, better to play with friends, better to play with friends. This is a social game, better to play with friends. I was like getting really fed up of hearing it. The impression I got was like, yeah, you could probably get through solo, but it makes it sound like it's one of those games where it's just not fun at all. Like, there's a couple of games I played. Like, I played Division 1, I did solo, and then I've been playing Division 2 as co-op. I can tell you now, much better game as co-op. Like, it is a bit of a slog in the single player, and I'm worried this is going to be the same. I hope not, because I'll probably be playing Skull and Bones mainly solo. If you can get an AI fleet, that'd be great. I have to see. They mentioned stuff like you have to make sure you keep your crew fed well and looked after well. This might be mutiny. Combat looked good. I'm not quite sure 100% play that. Most of the trailer was a bit more cinematic from fancy camera angles. It did have an extended gameplay look. I've not watched that yet. I just watched the trailer announcements and them chatting about. It was funny how Ubisoft is clearly fully aware of its bad history, that it chose the most diverse staff it could find for the presentation, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just find it like Ubisoft's deliberately doing it, but it doesn't talk about if it sorted anything out. So I'm always like interested to know, like, hey, is this studio better? Like, Ubisoft has loads of studios, so maybe Skull and Bones Studio doesn't have this toxic workplace. But anyway, back to Skull and Bones. Yeah, that's all I can say. It looks really good. Don't know how big the world's going to be, and like I said before, can you explore the islands, or is this going to be a case of like you hop off, you walk around the town? It was third person, so I appreciate that. It's got one up over Sea of Thieves, because that's the thing that puts me off Sea of Thieves, is the first person angle view. This did look like it had more like leveling up and skill trees and upgrades, and that feels better. With Sea of Thieves, kind of weird. You kind of just go around, like, yeah, you can get money and get some new weapon stuff, but there's not really, like when I played it last, not very clear thing Are you upgrading? Are you getting better? Is the ship getting better? It's kind of like a confusing mess, Sea of Thieves. And this is the other problem as well. Like Sea of Thieves, like I've spoken to a few people, different people who've played it as well. It is got quite a toxic community, unfortunately. And people really say like it really puts you off playing the game. And now I'm hoping we've got a fresh start here with Skull and Bones. I'm hoping this won't be as toxic, but if it's anything like other Ubisoft games like Rainbow Six Siege, I've not got my hopes up because that game I don't even touch Rainbow Six Siege anymore. It's so toxic. It's just, it may as well just be a pile of acid, and if you stick your fingers in it, it's gonna burn you. So that's a shame. But overall, looks good. If you can play solo and not play online, they did say you don't have direct combat with other players unless you choose the PvP mode, the PvP server. So you could just sail around and not worry about being taken out by other players. There will be like AI opponents to take out, and like merchant ships that are like defended by other ships, warships. The amount of different pirate ships in this game looked amazing. Visually looks amazing, but it's a next gen game, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit longer till I get a Series X or PlayStation 5. And that's about it. So I think after waiting 5 years, I'm not disappointed. I think it looks good. I'm just curious to see how it goes. And obviously, it has a more realistic look to Sea of Thieves. I kind of like Sea of Thieves cartoony look, but for those who always roll their eyes like, ugh, cartoony look, this one's for you. Here's your realistic looking game. Hopefully, because it's a pirate game and it's set somewhere more colourful, it won't suffer from the dreary, like, here's more greys and brown colours as you get in some of these try to be too realistic looking games. I think that's going to do it for us on Skull and Bones. Let's do let's do a Peggle drop. And then we'll move on to our next story that you kind of might know what it is already because I accidentally said it a little bit earlier. Here we go, let's drop on the orange on the left. Here we go, quite a few oranges here on the left hand side. Oh, and we got a free ball, but we didn't get the basket. Move on up over to our news area. Next news story is Pokemon Puzzle League from the N64 is coming to the Switch. This is going to be in the expansion pack for the Switch membership online. So that'll be included in that, like the rest of the N64 games. This is just a straight up N64 game being emulated on the Switch. What can I say? Pokemon Puzzle League is basically paneled upon with Pokemon. It's really cool. Remember, local multiplayer, you can play online on the Switch because it uses that thing where player 2, even if they're fast, so like another member of my team who has a Switch Lite could play Pokemon Puzzle League with me in the local on co-op mode, because the Switch restricts the online player as being a local player. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to tell my member of the team that might be watching, we need to play Pokemon Puzzle League if you're listening. Pokemon Puzzle League. Paneled upon with Pokemon. What could be better? And this is an unusual for Pokemon games out. This straight up rips characters and stuff from the first series of the anime. We've got Ash, Brock, Misty, Gary, Professor Oak. They're all in here. It's some good stuff. I think that's about it. Pokemon Puzzle League is just amazing, so go and check it out. Get ourselves another drop in here. I'm going to try and bounce it off this purple into an orange on the left hand side. Here we go, we've got a point boost. Oh, can we get another orange? Oh, we got a bucket though. Next news story, what have we got? Ooh, this one comes from Kotaku. Like I said, most of the articles I've pulled from Kotaku, except for like Ubisoft. One came, Skull and Bones was from Ubisoft, and Pokemon Puzzle League news was from Nintendo Life. Next, from Kotaku, Red Dead Online is not getting any big updates. I'm sorry, Red Dead Online fans. This is not the news we've been waiting for. Now, I dropped off Red Dead Redemption 2. Man, that game just makes you walk too much. It was far too slow for me. I love the first Red Dead game. Second one, not for me, unfortunately. I know some people love it, so it's cool if you loved it and you could stick with it. It's asking for a lot of time, and my schedule is too busy to fit in walking for like half an hour. It's just too slow paced. But Red Dead Online, on the other hand, looked like it had the potential to be good. Like, I know GTA Online is really popular. I did. Oh, hey, Meggie.Pop, welcome. I will do a right drop next time. GTA Online is meant to be really good, but hit and miss. Now, I've tried, and I have bought GTA Online. I've still yet to properly try it without getting blasted by all the other online players. I need to really fully understand how it works. I've just been too busy lately to try it. Now, Red Dead Online seems like a similar idea, but with cowboys. Who wouldn't want an online cowboy game? Do you think this had potential? I thought Rockstar would be all over this expansion stuff, battle passes, but it seems like this news was like, nah, we're focusing on GTA 6. We're not going to, they've confirmed no big updates for Red Dead Online. And then when a game developer says, we're not doing any big updates for this mainly online game, because Red Dead Online you can buy separately. That's the worst thing. They sell it separately, and for them to abandon it, basically they've abandoned it. So I imagine the population for that game will drop. So this is not the news we've been waiting for. I was really hoping like, oh yeah, we've got this new big expansion based off this. I'm not sure why. People love Red Dead. I thought they could, GTA Online, Red Dead Online could live in harmony together, but they've clearly gone, hey, GTA is making us the big bucks here. Let's just keep focusing on that. I thought Rockstar was big enough to be working on both, but there you go, we've learned something. Sorry, cowboy fans, we're out of luck. I still got my fingers crossed for a Gun remake, but hey, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Let's do a drop to the right. Okay, hey, Wells Draughty. Okay, that's not happening on this channel. We've just got Peggle here. We do the Peggle news here. We haven't got any Peggle news. We've got news and some Peggle. Let's drop to the right. Where are we going? We want to go right, so I'm going to bounce off here. This counts as going right. Let's see how it goes for you, Meggie.Pop. And we've got... only one orange. Okay, let's move back to the news and our final news story. Sometimes this news show might be shorter than others. Like I said, no Nintendo Direct this week, and it's been a bit quieter. And I'm just choosing news stories that kind of appeal to me or felt relative or something I could have a chat about. There's no point in me chatting about things that I have no idea I could tell you about. I'm good, thanks. How are you? I could chat about Yu-Gi-Oh! News, but I've only watched the first series. That was another sad thing, man. 2 sad stories this week already. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator, unfortunately, he passed away as well. Now, I've only got through season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I haven't got much more to say that. I have downloaded the Yu-Gi-Oh! Free-to-play card game for the Xbox. I've yet to try that out, so I can't really give my opinion on that. Next story comes from Xbox. There's no particularly great news stories this week, besides Pokemon Puzzle League and Skull and Bones. Everything's a bit of a downer here. Xbox 360 games will no longer be part of Games with Gold starting in October. So usually with Games with Gold, you get 2 Xbox One games and 2 Xbox 360 games, which I have been enjoying because, you know, a bunch of Xbox 360 games I've missed out on that I've managed to get through Games with Gold, or games I hadn't thought about trying. And when you get them Games with Gold, you're like, you know what, I'm going to give that a whirl and put it in. And some of them I've ended up playing and sticking with, so that's good. So it's sad to see that going. They're saying like, oh, we've ran out of the ability, or like ran out. I don't think they've ran out of games. I think they've just got to the point they just don't want to do it anymore. It's a tricky one because I feel like if you've just joined Games with Gold, you've missed. No worries, thanks for popping by. I feel like you've missed years and years of these Xbox 360 games that were available because of all the backwards compatible ones. So that's a little bit disappointing because if you've been there all the time, like I've claimed most of them over the last 10 years or so that have had Games with Gold, and they've been giving these games out for free. So it's fine for me if you're someone new and you got an Xbox One, like, man, I'm gonna get some Xbox 360 games. Then you're out of luck. This is disappointing. What will they replace it with? My concern is that they're gonna go down to the 2 Xbox One games. I doubt they'll be giving away Series X games at this point. Like, I know the Series X maybe come up to 2 years, but is a game from 2 years ago going to be cheap enough for them to bundle in? We'll have to see. They could stick some indie games in there. This is the problem. People, maybe the reason to get rid of it, people always moan going, oh, the Games with Gold are rubbish this month. I think people are really after like some AAA titles because there's been some great indie games in there. I always feel bad for indie games when people have a moan. They're like, no, the games are rubbish this month. I'm going, wow, waited these two really cool indie games are in here just because you didn't get your Assassin's Creed you wanted. So that's disappointing. Maybe a third Xbox One game. I think a third Xbox One game could compensate for the lack of Xbox 360 games. You're out of luck though if you're still an Xbox 360 person. Your games of gold is basically nothing. You're paying for online multiplayer and that's about it. So that, yeah. Also, that's concerning. If they get rid of the Xbox 360 games, does that mean they're going to shut down Xbox Live on the 360? That would be a big concern. I'm still a little bit annoyed that the original Xbox Live is gone off the OG Xbox. So, yeah. So we've got a couple of months left. They really better pull it out of the bag with some good Xbox 360 games in that time. I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. You have to see what you'll think. Post on my social network pages what you think Xbox should do. Hopefully they don't go down a weird... PlayStation went down a weird route where they give you like a game that's only like, oh, we only give you the PlayStation 5 version, and you're thinking, this game's on the PlayStation 4 as well. They did this with Bugsnax. It was like free with PS Plus, but only the PlayStation 5 version, and not the PlayStation 4 version. Real slap in the face to PlayStation 4 players. But Sony has a bit of a reputation for not really caring about its consumers, so there you go. I think that is about it for news. That was a bit of a shorter news week this week, like I said. No real big announcements as such. Nothing too major. We are coming up to the summer. It's a bit of a dry season. Game Pass looks like it's got some good games coming up. I'm looking forward to checking out Power Wash Simulator. There's Garden Story. What else was coming? There was quite a few titles. Looks like a good month for Game Pass. I'll be checking some of those out on some live streams. Usually check out new stuff on a Tuesday. So if there is any games you want to see me stream in the week, I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday is usually my, hey, we're doing a random game here, possibly a new game, or something off Game Pass. So that's more likely when you see it. If it's a retro game, we'll be checking it on Thursday for Throwback Thursday. Wednesday's Pokemon Unite. We've still got the community challenge going up. We're about 25% to do photography games on a special Friday evening stream. So yeah, any requests, let me know. We have got a few things I'm checking out. I've checked my list here. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at Spellbreak, Train Sim 2. Let's write down here, Power Wash Sim. Power Wash Sim. So these are potential games to check out. If any of those take fancy and you want to see one on me streaming it, please feel free. We will definitely be streaming Spellbreak. And I'm going to find out what day Spellbreak is closing down, and we'll stream near that. But that isn't until 2023. But we'll do some Spellbreak in the meantime, because I played it the other day. Pretty good. That game's good. Underappreciated Spellbreak. Let's round up and finish the Peggle match here before we call it a day. I'm going to go for the purple. Oh, we got purple one. Oh, got a double long shot. Some more oranges. Oh, if I was going to get a basket there. Try and get these orange ones here. We've got one orange. Go for the last orange here. Here we go. Where will it land? Let's stick around for the raid. And next week, hopefully, we'll have Patreon and Twitch subscriber questions. I'm going to try and put something in the Twitch subscriber section of this Discord, and put something into the Patreon as well. I'll have a section. I'm going to see how to do that. I'll work on that week. Hopefully, maybe that'll be up at the end of the week, and you can submit like some questions. A bit like an email section of a podcast. But we'll do it for patrons and Twitch subscribers first and see how that goes. That's it. Let's move to our outro screen. I would say sorry, it's been short, but hey, this is our podcast style show So obviously it could be different lengths depending on how much news there is. I bet 1 week there'll be loads of news. This week I didn't see as many news stories that I wanted to discuss. I think that's about it. As always, thank you to our patrons and Twitch subscribers, and thank you to everyone who donates through Patreon, Twitch subscriptions, bits, stickers, sound alerts, and Ko-fi donations. We do appreciate it. All the links about how to do that and how to support us and keep us doing what we're doing, we do appreciate it very much. All in the description below in the about section. And you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Those links are in the description as well. Let's see if we can raid this morning. Get the panda raid ready. Boom, boom, panda raid. Who have we got? Who's even up this early? You know what? Let's go for some Fall Guys. This is someone I've not raided in ages, so. Can't remember how I even started following this person, but let's check them out. Get the panda raid ready. Some people aren't on very often when I'm on, so I don't get a chance to raid them. But let's do it. Oh, the raid's dying. Have a good day. Enjoy your Friday. Have a good weekend. And remember to stay safe. And we'll see you next time. See you Tuesday. Bye.